Please give it up for our VIPs, everyone. Vincent and Paulette. Come on, these are VIPs. Yes, that's what we want to do. I have a couple of questions for them because they're very, very famous, and I want to have this chance to interview some celebrities. What is your name, and what is your favorite sport?
My name is Vincent Garrett, and my favorite sport is basketball.
Amazing. All right. Different question for you. Your name and your favorite Pokemon.
My name is Paulette, and my favorite Pokemon is Pikachu.
Any Pikachu fans? Okay, I have another question for Paulette. I hear you're a soccer player, and I'm very proud of you, and so is this audience. But I'm asking on behalf of the Asian parents in the room, do you have a trophy?
Yes, a humongous one.
A humongous one. How big is it?
As big as like the podium.
As big as the podium. She has a trophy as big as the podium. Let's give her some applause. And I have a follow-up for Vincent. Vincent, you are a Boy Scout. You enjoy mountain biking. So far, so good. But your mom admits to forcing you into math class. And it isn't Kumon. It's called Russian math. First of all, what is that? And second, were you involved with election interference?
Russian math is a place I go to learn math, and oh wait, what?
He didn't answer the election interference part, so we'll take that as a yes. Give a round of applause to our VIPs, and I'm going to let them introduce our next guest.
大家好，谢谢你们来参加亚裔律师协会的50周年庆典。我们很高兴见到大家，因为有你们的帮助，今天的庆祝活动才能顺利执行。
请和我哥哥一起欢迎我们的妈妈，亚裔律师协会会长 Angel Garrett 上台祝大家今晚玩得开心。Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'm back here again. And thank you to my children, Vincent and Paulette, for that introduction. Tonight's theme, as many of you may already know, is honoring our past and inspiring the future. So it felt especially meaningful to have my children introduce me, because in many ways, they are the future that this community has been building towards for the past 50 years. Having them on stage is also a reminder of something deeply personal. None of us arrive in rooms like this alone. We carry with us on this journey the people and the stories that came before us. Their journeys became the foundation of our own. And when I look out at this room tonight, all I can say is this: wow. Just wow. It is truly an honor, and I know I've said that so many times already, but it is truly an honor for me to be standing here tonight. This is the biggest gala that AABA has ever held, with almost 1,000 attendees. Give yourselves a round of applause, everyone. For an immigrant girl who came to this country at the age of 7, learning a new language, navigating a new culture, trying to understand a new way of life, standing here is not something I have ever imagined. And I know I would not be here without the support of many people in this room and the friends and family who are here with me tonight. I still remember those early days vividly. I remember the sidewalks of Flushing, New York, near the basement apartment where we first lived. My mom holding my hand and my brother's hand as we walked to the corner market to buy basic groceries. I remember walking into a noisy classroom filled with kids wearing bright t-shirts and shorts, something I had never seen because in Taiwan, everyone wore uniforms. They spoke a language I had heard in movies growing up, but I couldn't understand a word they were saying. I remember following classmates from room to room without knowing where we were going. I remember trying to ask a teacher where the restroom was, but not having the words. I remember attending ESL, or English as a Second Language classes, and taking my first bite of pizza. And at home, my parents were navigating their own challenges. They filled out paperwork that they barely understood. They worked jobs that did not reflect their education or their talents. They smiled politely when they were misunderstood, and sometimes endured comments they did not deserve. And like many children of immigrants, I slowly became their translator. First for school forums, then for phone calls, and eventually for the systems that felt impossible to navigate. And they worried about me. They worried because I chose a profession that no one else in our family had ever pursued. But more than that, they worried because I chose a profession that depends entirely on communicating in a language that was not my native tongue. A profession that depends on how clearly I speak, how persuasively I write, how effectively I advocate. There were moments when I felt defeated, moments when comments about my background cut deeper than I let on, moments when I wondered whether I truly belonged. At times, I felt very alone. But somewhere along the way, everything changed. I realized I wasn't alone because every obstacle sharpened me. Every doubt pushed me to grow stronger, and every challenge helped me find my voice. But more importantly, I had people besides me. My family, my mom, aunt, husband, and children, and my brother's family who are here with us tonight. My mentors, friends, my colleagues at Littler. This community. So tonight, when I stand here, I don't think about privilege in the traditional sense. I think about perspective, because I know what it took to get here, what it took for all of us to be in the room tonight. And I know every person in this room has their own journey, their own story of persistence, sacrifice, and resilience. When I look around tonight, I see something remarkable. I see what 50 years a community can build. Organizations like AABA were founded at a time when Asian American attorneys were often isolated, overlooked, and underrepresented. Our founders envisioned a vibrant community built on collaboration, support, and shared purpose. Tonight, we celebrate the momentum they set in motion, and we proudly reflect on how their legacy has led to all the achievements accomplished in the past 5 decades. And that legacy is visible everywhere. Just look around you. Today, there are more than 140 Asian American judges in California shaping the law and the future of our communities. Look at the tables of judges with us here tonight. And here in the Bay Area, Asian American leaders, many through AABA, have advanced civil rights protections, advocated for language access in courts, defended immigrant communities, and fought discrimination. And when our communities face challenges, AABA responds. When COVID hit and Asian-owned small businesses faced challenges because of the shutdown, AABA formed a clinic to help. AABA also partnered with the Asian Law Caucus to create bystander intervention training for addressing anti-Asian American harassment and xenophobia. AABA has also worked to advance meaningful policy change. It supported AB 2096, recognizing Lunar New Year as an official state holiday. It supported legislation to end forced arbitration of race discrimination claims, and backed efforts to prohibit and block state laws restricting purchase of real property based on citizenship. And the work is never done. AABA has remained deeply engaged in broader conversations about justice and equity, hosting panels on voting rights, mental health issues, and diversity in the legal professions. It also endorsed the mission and the work of the California Task Force to study and develop reparation proposals for African Americans. And tonight you guys are here, and you know we are joined by leaders like San Francisco City Attorney David Chu, and we heard earlier from California Attorney General Rob Bonta welcoming us all. Across the nations, Asian Americans now make up nearly 10% of law students and 7% of all lawyers. 50 years ago, that would have been unimaginable. And all of this reflects something bigger than the organization, than one organization. That progress did not happen by accident. It happened because people before us built pipelines. They created mentorship programs. They created scholarships like the AABA Law Foundation, which has awarded nearly $1 million in scholarships to 2006. They lifted others as they rose. This is what community looks like. This is what happens when one generation rises. They reach forward and elevate the next. But every moment comes with responsibility. Because while we celebrate tonight, we also know that this moment in our country feels uncertain. We see attacks on the rule of law and on our judiciary. We see anti-Asian rhetoric resurface. We see families worrying about policies that affect their futures. Yes, we are fortunate to be here in the Bay Area, but geography does not shield us from responsibility. What happens nationally affects our communities locally. So my question for all of you tonight as I stand here is, what will our legacy be for the next 50 years? Legacy is not something that happens to us. It is something we build by our actions and our decisions. And sometimes those choices are big: running for office, serving on the bench, leading organizations. But often legacy is built through quieter acts. Mentoring a first-generation law student who wonders if they belong. Volunteering at a school and ensuring language access for immigrant parents. Sponsoring someone's career, not just advising them, but opening the door for them. And speaking up in a room when silence would be so much easier. Because somewhere right now, there is a young Asian American child sitting in a classroom feeling exactly the way I once did, and maybe you did too. Alone, out of place, unsure, trying to find their voice. And somewhere there is a parent wondering whether their sacrifices will be worth it. But our legacy will answer them. Will we simply protect the progress we've made, or will we widen the circle? The next 50 years will not shape themselves. They will be shaped by the choices that we make, by whether we choose comfort or courage. My parents could not have imagined this room when they first arrived in this country. They could not have imagined that their daughter will one day stand here at a podium speaking in the language they struggle to navigate. Their courage and your parents gave you this opportunity. And tonight, looking out at this room, at our judges, our leaders, our mentors, our students, I realized something. Their dream did not stop with us. It grew, it became this community. Without this community, I would not be here. The barriers that our founders broke helped create this momentum that became this community. Let's carry that momentum forward as we head into the next 50 years. And now it is our turn to turn this opportunity into impact. The next 50 years are still unwritten, but if anything tells us, if tonight tells us anything, it's this. We are not alone anymore. We are a community. We are rising together. So tonight, as we celebrate AABA's 50 years, I hope you remember this. We did not get here alone. This is our moment. We dreamt hard. We have come so far, and together we're going up, up, up. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here, for belonging, for helping shape the legacy we will leave behind. Let's celebrate each other and tonight. Thank you.